Today I fucked up and learned why the coffee tasted a little off. This happened 12 years ago. I was in the process of moving to the city and my mom gave me a sort of apartment starter kit, old pots, pans, utensils, plates, etc. including an old Tim Hortons coffee maker, which had been stored in the shed for a couple years. Not being a dummy, I cleaned out that coffee maker as best I could, then ran a few straight pots of water, vinegar through it. It ran a bit slow but I wasn't too worried. Good coffee takes time, or so I thought. My first cup of coffee tasted a bit strange. I quickly attributed that to any lingering vinegar. Fast forward a week or so later and the taste of the coffee hadn't improved, plus the speed of the brew was noticeably slowing. So I decided to take it apart and give it a more thorough cleaning. I'm fairly mechanically inclined, so I was able to break it down with little effort. Feeling proud of myself, I accessed the water reservoir and emptied it. What came out was a sort of dark grainy sludge. At first I was annoyed, wondering how did coffee grounds get into the water reservoir. As I stared at the sludge, my annoyance slowly turned into revulsion and horror. Yes, while stored out in the shed, mice had made my mom's Tim Hortons coffee maker their home. And I had been brewing and drinking mouse turd coffee. Too long didn't read, I unknowingly drank mouse turd flavored coffee for over a week. From cup of joe to cup of no. Goddamn, I gagged and had my whole stomach turn as I read this while drinking coffee, and I have a strong stomach. So sorry. No, I'm sorry. After a major storm and no electric for a couple of weeks, we decided to make some pasta. Boiled it, served it with jarred Alfredo sauce, and my daughter mentioned the bug-looking things. I assured her it was peppercorn. Then, I saw the legs. Seems that weevils like pasta, too. Had an issue with weevils years ago. All my pasta gets stored in sealed plastic containers now. Not gonna take a chance on that happening ever again. Reasons why I'm not worried about what's in the vaccine. The secret spice was hantavirus. Today I fucked up by cleaning out my ears with only cotton swabs for 20 years. This actually unfolded over the last week, and am still enjoying the results of my actions. So for the last few years I've regularly had an itch in my ears. Over the past few months it came as far as having an almost daily itch and I had to clean my ears multiple times a week because of the ginormous amount of earwax my ears were producing. I had been searching for a long time to find an alternative for cotton swabs, as I am aware they're not the best, but wasn't able to find any. Guess I'm an idiot. Last week the itching became so bad I started Googling again, knowing doctors will not be an option for at least 6 more months in my country due to COVID. And so I found an ear spray that is supposed to help dissolve your earwax while keeping your ears moisturized. Sounds perfect. I ordered the spray and as soon as it arrived I started going to town. At first the itch immediately subsided. Then, it became much, and I mean much, worse. Also, anytime I'd move my jaw I'd hear a scratchy noise inside my ear. Finally fed up I took out a cotton swab and was shocked as I pulled out a huge piece of dead skin from my ear. As in, I didn't even know the inner ear had that much skin surface. It's like I'm a badly shedding lizard in my ear. Every day I'm pulling out huge pieces of dead skin from my ears and it doesn't seem to stop anytime soon. So yeah, gonna enjoy that for a while. At least my hearing has improved since using the spray. No more cotton swabs for me. TL, doctor, used cotton swabs for years. Itchy ears caused me to try out a spray against earwax. Turns out my ears were itchy from years and years of dead skin buildup. Now my ears are even more itchy from all the dead skin getting unstuck in my ears. Edit. To all the people asking me in the comments for the product, check your local pharmacy. They probably have similar products there and will be able to inform you. Best of luck and healthy ear cleaning to you all. When I was a freshman in high school, I had this earache that I couldn't seem to shake. At first, I thought it was to do with my TMJ, which would cause pain episodes that affected my ears. Then, I thought maybe it was an ear infection, but the doctor said everything looked okay from what they could see. My dad went out and got me those special ear drops that help dissolve earwax, and I gave them a go. Did the left side first and got some stuff out, but nothing crazy. And I did the right side, the side that was more painful, and when I went to rinse out my ear, I took the blue bulb out of my ear to refill it, and there was a giant wad of wax on it. Probably the size of a Skittle more or less. Sorry, don't mean to ruin Skittles for anyone. Grimacing face. I finished rinsing my ears out and OMG, my hearing was improved dramatically, and within about 15 minutes the pain had completely subsided. I'd how my doctor missed that hunk of wax in my ear though. My wife was convinced she was going deaf in her right ear. The reasons and causes varied from day to day. She refused to let me irrigate her ear. She kept digging at it with Q-tips. They would come out clean and white. Finally, it became completely deaf. I convinced her to let me do some things to her ear. I put warmed oil in her ear for 15 minutes. Then I rinsed it with warm water vigorously with a syringe several times. I hit it with peroxide for 5 minutes. Flushed it with warm water a few more times. Then I broke out the spray stuff. Some things came out of her ear, so I told her to start digging. Holy fuck, the amount of garbage she pulled out of her ear. She probably went to high school with some of that in there. A dozen Q-tips with huge chunks of tarry, cheesy, coppery golden goodness. She spent the next few days pretending to still not hear out of that ear instead of thanking me. I've had a similar situation before. Thankfully the solution I put in my ear cleared everything out. I guess more people should get professionally cleaned though. I've heard it makes a huge difference. No pun intended. Legitimate response, I've been told. Does. Went a couple times in my teens when my ears were clogging up regularly, and having the doc clean them out was borderline orgasmic. The relief of being able to hear and have clean ears is amazing. I have had that. The peeling skin and increased itching was the result of a staph infection likely caused by the overuse of Q-tips. The skin on the inside of your ears will be raw, lovely breeding ground for bacteria, and if you get the skin wet you may be more prone to inner ear infections. I definitely was. My suggestion is to get your ears checked with your doctor. Today I fucked up by not knowing how to eat an artichoke, which led to me arti-choking. Obligatory, this didn't happen today blah blah blah. Some background: when I was 11 I was homeschooled due to me being bullied and the school not doing shit. My mom was a single mother, so unfortunately she couldn't take time off to stay home and teach me. Her best friend, being an absolute sweetheart, offered to teach me at her house until my mom got home from work each day. My mom's friend, let's call her C, was the definition of fitness mom. She took a literal 5k jog every morning, was on a diet, and gave her kids mostly healthy food. She was also way more religious than my mom, so things at her house were very different than things at my house were. One day, my mom had to work late, so she offered to let me have dinner at her place until my mom showed up. I asked what we were having and she said artichokes. Artichokes? The fuck is an artichoke? I didn't want to be rude, so I told her that I would like to stay for dinner. I sat at the dinner table as she finished up in the kitchen. She later came in with what looked like a bush on a plate. She and her family held hands and did their dinner prayer, while I looked at my plate with one thing on my mind: how the fuck am I supposed to eat this? Everyone began to dig in. I on the other hand was still staring at my plate. She had worked hard to make dinner. I wasn't about to just refuse to eat it. For all of you that don't know, you're supposed to eat an artichoke by picking off the leaves and scraping out the soft insides with your teeth. I on the other hand, did not bother to ask. So instead of asking how to eat this because I didn't want to be rude, I picked off a leaf and shoved the entire thing into my mouth. First thing I noticed was how hard it was to chew. Literally felt like I was trying to chew through a tire. She looked at me and smiled. Does it taste okay? I didn't want to upset her, so I just nodded my head. People were already almost done, and I think they noticed that I was just sitting there chewing the whole time. She looked concerned and asked me if I felt sick because I wasn't eating anything. It hit me that I needed to answer her, so I fucking swallowed this whole ass artichoke leaf. And that's when I started choking. She ran over to me and started patting me back really hard. After about 10 seconds she hit my back hard enough so I coughed the damn thing back up, where it proceeded to land in the center of the table, where the following conversation happened. See, me, yeah? See, did you try and eat the whole leaf? Me, yeah. TLDR, ate an entire artichoke leaf, choked, that's it. I did this once too, at a fancy dinner with my grandparents. Except they were roasted so they were soft enough to kinda eat. I ate at least 10 leaves. Had the worst stomachache later. The worst. Points for the title. Dude, you have no idea how excited I got when I thought of it. I could tell what the whole story was from the title but still had me entertained throughout. Good job, Op. I feel like this was a PSA for anyone who has never eaten an artichoke. Like me, you choked so none of us ever will. Thank you for your service, my friend. I've never eaten an artichoke since. I've never had an artichoke and I'm sorry for your artichoking episode, but I'm glad to be informed of how you are supposed to eat them in case I should encounter one in the wild.